Sure. Here's a retelling of the famous Bible story of David and Goliath from 1 Samuel 17. David and Goliath. In the days when King Saul ruled Israel, the Israelites faced their enemies, the Philistines. The armies stood on opposite hills, with a valley between them. From the Philistine camp came a giant named Goliath, a warrior over 9 feet tall. He wore heavy bronze armor and carried a massive spear. Every day, Goliath stepped forward and roared, "Choose a man to fight me. If he defeats me, we will be your servants. But if I win, you will serve us." For 40 days, Goliath taunted the Israelites, and they were terrified. No one dared to fight him. Now, there was a young shepherd named David, the youngest son of Jesse. David's 3 older brothers were soldiers in Saul's army. One day, Jesse sent David to the camp to bring food to his brothers and check on their well-being. When David arrived, he heard Goliath's challenge. He saw the fear in the Israelites and asked, "Who is this Philistine who defies the armies of the living God?" Some men told David about the rewards King Saul promised to anyone who defeated Goliath. David said boldly, "I will fight him." King Saul heard David's words and summoned him. Saul looked at the young shepherd and said, "You are only a boy. How can you fight this giant?" But David replied, "I have fought lions and bears to protect my father's sheep. God delivered me from them, and he will deliver me from this Philistine." Seeing David's faith, Saul agreed and gave him armor. But David found it too heavy. Instead, David took his shepherd's staff, his sling, and chose 5 smooth stones from a stream. As David approached, Goliath laughed and mocked him. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? Come here, and I will give your flesh to the birds and beasts." But David stood firm and replied, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty. Today, God will deliver you into my hands, and all the world will know that there is a God in Israel." Goliath charged toward David. David quickly ran to meet him, reached into his bag, and pulled out a stone. With a swift swing of his sling, he sent the stone flying. It struck Goliath in the forehead, and the giant fell face down to the ground. The Philistines watched in shock as David stood over Goliath, victorious. With Goliath defeated, the Philistines fled, and the Israelites pursued them. From that day on, David became known as a man of great courage and faith, trusting in God to overcome even the greatest challenges. This story is a timeless example of how faith in God and courage can help us overcome seemingly impossible obstacles. Let me know if you'd like a more detailed or artistic version.